Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm not. So thank you for joining and for your willingness to share your journey with Femina Flow. Yeah, tell us more about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Darion, of course, lead gen consultant on LinkedIn. I help coaches get more leads, but more so just about who I am. I'm from Canada, currently in Medellin, Colombia, enjoying some time away just by myself. I love hip hop music. I'm a hip hop artist. I make a lot of music. I love creating. I um, I like to break dance. I've been doing that since I was a kid. And yeah, just sort of a athlete slash entrepreneur, I guess you could say.
What were you struggling with before joining the program?
Yeah, the biggest thing I was struggling with was emotional sort of blockages. And I know that sounds pretty abstract. So what does that mean? Essentially, I knew that I was holding on to some limiting beliefs and also some some things from the past that I hadn't really fully let go of. Um, and I noticed that they were showing up in my business, not
Hmm.
just in terms of like mindset, but also in terms of the way that I was approaching things day to day. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I was struggling with the most.
Did you have any hesitations before joining? And if yes, what helped you to make that decision?
No, I didn't. Well, the reason I say no is because I had seen you on LinkedIn for quite a while before, because as we have quite a few friends in common and we're in similar networks. So I had seen your content for a while actually. And then, yeah, I was just slowly looking into you, seeing what you were talking about, what you stood for, things of that nature. And so by the time it came to me reaching out to you, because I DM'd you if you worked with men actually, I had already decided that if you were willing to work with me, I was willing to work with you. So it was sort of there was no hesitations. It was more like let me just make sure that it's a right fit on my end before I just like waste your time.
Was there anything surprising in the process?
Yeah, I think probably like laying on the floor with the eye mask on. That's probably the biggest thing for me because typically I've been meditating since I was a child, so I typically just do it sitting down, eyes closed. So this was sort of like a new thing for me. And I remember I brought a pillow on the first day, and you're like, "Nah, like that's way too big. You need a flatter pillow." And I was like, "I don't have a flatter pillow." So the whole thing that was the biggest surprise for me was just getting used to the position and like wearing the eye mask and stuff like that.
Yeah, true. And did you try anything else before? Like you mentioned meditation, to let go of those emotional blockages.
No, I was meditating since I was a kid because I've always just kind of been inclined and gravitated towards spirituality. So it's not like I was trying to let go of any emotional blockages, as like a 12-year-old. But as I got older, I started journaling a lot more.
Yeah.
And then, of course, my music is a therapeutic outlet for sure. So I did a few things, mostly involving writing, but nothing quite as intense or like breath work or even therapy. I hadn't gone to that level yet. I was just kind of slowly working my way up the ranks, so to speak.
What's changed in your life on all the levels, not only, spiritually and emotionally, but also maybe physically, mentally?
After the program or through the
Yeah,
program, you
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
or
Cool, cool.
in
Because
general, through the program, like what
yeah,
was
yeah,
changing and how do you feel right now?
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, like essentially I noticed, I mean, the first couple sessions were very intense because I had never done anything like that. And so the sensation in my hands and my feet were crazy in my mind. So early on, it was more of like a physical, like I noticed it more physically, like the differences. And then, after each session, I would just feel a lot lighter. I would walk around for the rest of the day feeling really light, things like that. But then once we started to move on, and had done it for about a month or so, I was actually a little more used to it. And so it wasn't as much like physical differences as me noticing sort of like to be honest, the biggest thing was just self-compassion. Like
Yeah.
I noticed that I really was a lot more compassionate with myself and especially being an entrepreneur, right? regardless of the stuff you see online about grinding, blah, because I don't really listen to that anyway. I just think that I've always been a little hard on myself because it's my business. Like I'm the one who makes it go. So, if I'm not getting enough clients or something's happening, it's all me. And so I've always like held myself to such a high standard. And I noticed, as I was going through the program, I was just getting a lot lighter and lighter and more, yeah, compassionate with myself. And I'll give a specific example because we talked about this too, is like with my diet, because I work out a lot, I train pretty hard. I'm, pretty focused on that area of my life. And so I was telling you on one of our calls, like I had eaten some ice cream or something, and I was like beating myself up about it. And that was like the first time I had eaten it in over a month, right? So it's not like I'm binging it every day. And we had like a nice long talk about like, Darion, I see you every day or every week. I know you, I know how disciplined you are. Like it's okay. Like you're allowed to like have some joy and like be easy on yourself. And that was huge for me. And then we did a whole session around it. Not the eating, but just like self-compassion and stuff. And yeah, that was probably the biggest thing for me is just, being a little easier on me.
Yeah, I get it. I never regret a good gelato.
Oh,
Never again.
never, never.
Never. Is there anything else that has changed? What you said before we started recording that you're still integrating the whole
Yeah, I
program.
mean, absolutely. Because yeah, the healing doesn't stop
Yeah.
at the end of your program. And I've noticed that it's continual. And it's also me just noticing like, oh, in certain situations, I'm not reacting as emotionally. I'm a lot more even keel, calm. And so some of those things are hard to notice because, you know, there's nothing happens. So sometimes you actually have to like try to be aware of like nothing happening. And so it's a little trickier to spot it. But yeah, I'm noticing just a lot more like even emotionally throughout the day. Um, yeah, just a lot more connectedness. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, this is what I love. Is there anything you would advise to a person that wants to join, but it's still uncertain?
Absolutely. I would say like forget all the, do it, you got to do it, whatever. I'm gonna say you got to really like want change. I think I was at a point where I had hit certain plateaus in like my business and where I was at in relationships and stuff. So that's why I knew there was something that I needed to like let go of. And I was ready to do the work and ready to change because it's called breath work. Like it's hard. Like I didn't realize how hard it was gonna actually be. And
Yeah.
um yeah, so I would just advise anybody who's thinking about it, like, do you really want the change? Because you can come into the program, do the all the weeks, show up every week, but if you're not like invested in like the change and doing the work, giving your all like each session and journaling after and like going deep, you're not gonna get what you want out of it. And then you're also not gonna get the results that you want to see with your clients. So yeah, I would just encourage anybody who's doing it, just make sure that you're ready for change and you want it because yeah, it's worth
Yeah,
it.
true. True. Thank you for mentioning that because it's like with personal trainer, you want to build muscles, lose weight, so you go and do the training. The same it's here. It's not breath massage or whatever.
Yeah.
More of a like I'm an emotional trainer. So
Big
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, big time. And yeah, I mean it's beautiful if you really give it your all and then you start to see sort of like the things coming up day to day.
Thank you so much for sharing. If there's anything else you would like to add, maybe from your side, I think we
Um,
got all the juices.
no, that's good. That's great.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.